little perplexed. I am seeing the news where eggs are plummeting. The price is plummeting. Still not pre-pandemic or pre-inflation costs. But from what I understand, these $8.69 carton of eggs have dropped to $4, maybe $3. And I'm seeing all these news stories, but I'm going to the grocery store and the eggs are $7.99 a carton. What the heck is going on here? So the first question is, how did all of a sudden egg prices drop, and to what degree? So Forbes is saying where egg prices hit a record high of $8.17 per dozen back in March, they have dropped now to $4.90 per dozen, although there's another source saying they're down to like $3.47 a dozen. And that happened within a week, one of the sharpest declines in recent history. And so the first question people have is, wait a second. How do you go from, almost a 50% drop? What the heck is going on? Well, they do believe that supply and demand is playing a big factor to that. Okay. If you aren't, I think farmers are concerned and egg suppliers are concerned that once somebody gets used to, we don't need eggs. The longer this goes and the longer you don't decide to incorporate eggs and put them in your shopping cart, the harder it is to get those consumers to shop back. And so I think they're noticing that fewer people, I haven't bought eggs since they went up. No, I'm not going to bake eggs. I'm not going to cook eggs. You don't bake an egg. I'm not going to mix eggs into whatever I'm cooking. I'm going to do it without the eggs. I'm going to save the money. And so when demand goes down and supply starts to rise, prices fall. Another issue is we're hearing they aren't killing as many or culling as many of these egg-laying hens. Now, some are saying that the avian flu is starting to get under control. Maybe it is. Maybe luck of the draw, the avian flu is going down. Or maybe they decided that they have been killing preemptively and they might not have to if these birds are not exposed and if they don't have avian flu to that degree. One of the 5-pronged approaches that the USDA and Department of Agriculture wanted to do to help with the egg prices is to replicate what's happening on some farms and some egg producers where they haven't been afflicted and their chickens haven't gotten the avian flu. Some of their protective measures and some of what they're doing might need to be an industry standard. So let's try to replicate what's working. And so it's very interesting how all of a sudden we're seeing a huge drop. But what's also interesting is I go to the grocery store and they're still expensive. So the next question is, if egg prices are really dropping and plummeting at historic rates, why aren't the grocery stores doing it? Why not? Well, some are saying the problem the grocery stores have is they had to pay a lot for those eggs. The eggs that are right now on the shelf is not the $4 or the $3 price. It was the $8 price. So they are selling you the $8 eggs. So they want to get the $8 eggs. Another thing is grocery stores who have gotten hit by people not buying eggs and the losses that they have, they know that Easter's coming up and Passover's coming up and you need eggs for that. People ask me, why Passover? Why do you need the eggs? Do you do Easter eggs on Passover? A lot of Jews, I can't speak for a lot of Jews. I love decorating Easter eggs and things like that. But I use eggs for Passover because, one, you need it for the Seder plate. You need to have an egg. And also, when you eat matzah, the matzah we have to eat, since we're not allowed, well, we don't have to eat the matzah. We do during the Seder. But instead of bread, we might make sandwiches and pizza with the matzah. That matzah is such a sharp, geometrically uncomfortable cracker that in order for some of us to digest it, we make something called matzah brai, where we soak the matzah in egg and then we add some seasonings and then we mix it up, and it's actually really tasty and it's really filling and it's not that many calories because matzah isn't a lot of calories unless you add a lot of butter and you make your matzah brai very highly caloric. But so a lot of us will eat matzah brai, and trust me, you need a lot of egg. For me to take, and I'm going to show you, how this sharp, geometrically angled. Those corners are so, I mean, I have never seen a right angle so sharp. When it just goes down your gut, it's to me, it's the most painful thing. All right, I'll do Lent in a heartbeat. I know you guys are not liking Lent than having to eat a week of matzah, but I'm Jewish, so I have to do the matzah thing. In fact, that'd be nice if I could do Lent and give up matzah for Lent, but it's got to be something you like. And so for me to barely digest this matzah, I have to soak it in, chicken farm size, batters of egg. And so, we buy a lot of egg for that. And so maybe many of these grocery stores are like, wait a second, Easter's coming up, Passover's coming up. If we could still glean a little bit more money, we're going to. Also, things there's always a little bit of a delay from supplier to distributor and market. So you might not see the prices right now. There is a lot of pressure for grocery stores to be selling these cheaper eggs. I still don't like the fact that a carton of eggs is $3-4. I kind of miss the old $2 a carton, for eggs. But I'll take it. A $4 carton of eggs is much better than an $8 carton. I gave you a picture of my local grocery store. But no, the grocery stores, it might not. Because again, they need to sell their $8 eggs off first. But again, supply and demand. If people don't want your $8 eggs, they're not going to get it. And they'll go to the place that is finally selling. If they're smart, they'll be like, hey guys, egg prices have dropped. You can now get your eggs for $4. So that's probably what they should do. But if we're killing fewer birds, and if the avian flu is starting to get under control without having to use a vaccine, I think consumers are going to be happy. 1-877